Okay, let's. You guys have already gone through job order costing, and you've also now been exposed to process order costing. And you know the big difference is job order costing accumulates all of its cost in a job order cost sheet, and process order costing accumulates it through the various processes until you reach the end of the road at finished goods. So one department's transferred out quantity of units and the dollars associated becomes the input to the next department. And I know you have also done process costing problems. What I'm going to do today is just kind of put that all together, and I've developed over time a simple worksheet to facilitate the calculations of these dollar amounts that actually get transferred out and what the value of your ending inventory is. And I think you might find it an easier way to do some of these problems. So the problem that we're going to do today, and so you can write this down while I go through it, would probably be good. This company, the Juniper Company, uses the weighted average method for processing costing, and we have some costs here relating to the month of May, which was in their first processing department. So the output of this process is going to go to a second step. They started the month with 400 units in beginning inventory on May the 1st, and of that 400 units, 75% of those 400 were complete with respect to material, and 50% of them were complete with respect to conversion. So that means that there's going to be additional material added to the product in this particular department before it's ready to go out, and there is additional labor and overhead necessary before these products can be transferred out. In addition to the 400 units that they started the period with, 15,000 more units and the material associated with producing them was provided to them. And at the end of the month, they had 1,000 units remaining, of which those 1,000 units were 80% complete with respect to material and 40% complete with respect to conversion costs. The last component that we need to know is the value of the inventory at the beginning and the value of the material and the labor that was added during the period. There was these 400 units in beginning inventory were worth $5,100, and it was comprised of $1,800 of material and $3,300 of labor and overhead or conversion costs. The additional costs that were incurred in the processing of those original 400 and the starting and possible completion of some of the 15,000 units that were started in the period, that additional cost that was incurred was $312,000, comprised of $97,000 worth of material and $215,000 of conversion costs. Our task then is simply to determine the units transferred to the next processing department, the equivalent units in material and conversion that was produced during the period, the cost per equivalent unit of material and conversion, and lastly, the value of the ending inventory.